Welcome to our Working with Portraits video webinar. This video webinar is designed to support the Memory Book online yearbook program. Our goal in this video will be to focus on the function of the program associated with student portraits. Specifically, we will be reviewing printing class sheets for teachers or parents to review and provide corrections, strategies for detecting duplicate images, correcting student names, categorizing students, and using the flow function to create portrait pages. So, let's get started. Topic 1. Let's start off by printing a class sheet. Click on Create, and then click on Image Library. Here, click on the arrow pointing to the word Portraits. This will reveal the subfolders containing your portraits. These folders will be sorted by either teacher, grade, classroom, or a custom sort. From here, click on a folder, and you will see the student or staff portraits on the left. If you look at the top bar, above the word Inbox, you will see different icons. The one we want looks like a piece of paper with PDF on it. Click here, and a new tab will open. This will take you to a printable PDF. Here you can print this and then hand it to the teacher or parent for corrections. Please ask them to double-check the name and ensure it is the correct portrait to be used in the yearbook. If a student has changed classrooms, please have the teacher indicate which class they now belong to. This will make moving the student easier. At this time, you can also ask the teacher which student cannot have their portrait in the yearbook. We will talk about how to handle that later in the video. Topic 2. Now that you have your corrections back, let's talk about how to correct the portrait names. There are two ways of correcting student names. First, there is using the coverage report. To get to this, click on Create, and then click on Coverage Report. Here in the coverage report, you will see a list of students and staff names and grade. They might have their homeroom listed. The first thing would be to click on Last Name, making sure the arrow is pointing up. This will ensure the list is sorted by last name. From here, go through your list and look for the student you need to correct. Let's start with J. Abney. We are going to say a note was made that the parents requested his full first name be used in the book. So, they want Jason and not J to appear. Click on the word J and delete the name, then type the word Jason. This will change the name in real time. So, let's go see that change. Take this time to note what folder the student's portrait is in, and then click on Create, and then click on Image Library. Now, let's locate the student's portrait. They were in Drake's class, so let's click on that folder. Here you can see Jason Abney is the first portrait, and you can see the name has been changed. The coverage report is a quick way of correcting names without having to go from folder to folder. It also changes the names in real time. If you want to go folder by folder, here is how you can fix portrait names. To make correction to a portrait name, just click on the folder and then locate the student. We are going to continue to use Jason Abney. This time we are going to change the first name back. We can do this by either double-clicking the portrait, or we can click on the image details icon located in the upper right-hand corner. This will bring up the image details screen. Click on the circle with the 3 dots in the middle. Then click on Edit Name, and then on the next screen, just click on Edit. The next screen is the one we want, and it is called Edit Person Information. Here you can delete and change the first name. We are going to change Jason back to J. Once you are done, click on the blue Save button, and then click on the blue Done button. Please note, you might have to refresh the site from time to time to see the changes. Next, we will talk about moving portraits and adding no photos. Topic 3. If you have a student that shows up late or missed portrait day at school, you can add a no photo to a class. First, let's talk about where to find no photo images in the program. You can also email Memory Book Tech Support, and we can upload some of the no photos images we have. In the image library, click on the arrow pointing to the word Art. There you will see 4 subcategories. The one we want is by type. Let's click the arrow pointing to by type. Then we are going to click on the folder called Borders and Lines. If you scroll down a little, you will see a few selections for no photos. Click on the one you would like to use, then go to Actions and click on Download. Your File Explorer will open, and just simply navigate to whatever folder you want to store this image in, and then click on Save. Now, let's add this no photo to a class. Click a class or teacher folder under Portrait, then click on the blue Upload button in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Here you get the Upload Images pop-up. You can click on Choose Images or drag and drop the image inside the dotted box. Here we are going to click on Choose Image. File Explorer will open up and you can navigate to the folder that contains the no photo in it. Once you have found it, click on the image and then click on Open. This will start the upload process. Once it is done, your no photo will show up. You can add this no photo as many times as you wish. Now that we have either a no photo or a portrait image uploaded, we are going to have to tag it with the student or staff name. To do this, double-click on the portrait or click the image detail icon in the upper right-hand corner of the portrait. Once on the image detail screen, click anywhere on the portrait on the left. Here you will see a red box on the left and a new box on the right appear. The box on the right will have the word unidentified inside it. Click here, and then click on the teal words Create New Person, and the New Person screen will open up. Here you can enter the student or staff information. Start by entering the first and then last name of the person. You will have to indicate a grade for this person. If this is a staff member, you can mark them as a faculty. You also have the option of marking them no grade, other, or organizations. Once you have all that information filled out, you can click on the blue Save button and then click on the blue Done button. You might need to refresh the site to see the changes. Now, let's move to the fun part, flowing portraits. Topic 4. Real quick, before we move on to flowing portraits, let's talk about image we do not want to use and images that cannot be used. First, let's talk about duplicate images. In the portrait folder, you can see we have the two of the same images and both with the same name. We only want to use one of these, so let me show you how to mark one Do Not Use. Double-click on one and then click on the Details tab. From there, we are going to click on the Preferences section and then look for the box called Use Portrait. Click on this box and you will see 3 options. The one we want to click on is Don't Use Portrait. Once you click on it, click on the blue Done button. You will see the image is slightly faded and there is a red box above the image with Do Not Use on it. This means the image will not flow with the rest of the class. If you have a portrait that cannot be in the yearbook, you can mark it to use a default no photo available. This process is much like the Do Not Use. The only difference is what you click on the Preferences section. So here on the Use Portrait menu, you can see the third choice, and that is Use No Photo. Click on that, and then click on the blue Done button. Here you will see the only change is a gray box with the words Use No Photo. Please make sure you look at the names. In some cases, you might have twins in a class, and you might not want to mark one Do Not Use on accident. Real quick, here is an example of what the no photo available will look like on the page. The student's name will appear, just not their portrait. There are 2 ways of setting up your page for flowing your portraits. One is using our pre-made templates. The other is setting up a flow element. Let's talk about the first one, adding a template. So, let's get to a page. First, click on Plan and then Page Ladder. Now click on the page you want to use. Now we are here on the Page Designer. Click on the tab on the right called Designs. Click on the drop-down menu. Here you will see many categories to click on. We want Portrait. Click the arrow pointing to Portrait. Here you will see different options to choose from. Scroll down until you see 1 to 10 photos. Here you can see there are options based on the total number of portrait images you have. It is best to pick based on the highest number of students in a class. Here we are going to click on 21 to 30 photos. Here you will see different templates with a flow element and other elements on it. You can click and hold on the template you want and drag it to the page. It will ask you if you want to retain or keep what is on the page. If you have already placed a background on the page, click Yes. Otherwise, click on either Yes or No. The template will be placed on the page, and then you can click on the Save icon or click on File, and then click on Save. Now let's talk about how to add your own flow element to the page and how to edit it. Click on the Flow tab on the left-hand side. Starting at the top, you will see 6 flow element options. The difference between them is name, location, and size of the element when it is placed on the page. We are going to pick two different ones. The first one will have the more traditional names on the side, and the second will have the names on the bottom. The first thing you will notice is the size of the two and the number of portraits they can hold are different. If you have a class of 20 students, then the one on the left will not only have too many spots, the portrait images will be too small as well. The one on the right not only is too big, it does not have enough portrait slots. So, here is how to fix both. First, let's start with the one on the left. Click on the blue flow element on the page. When selected, you will see a yellow dotted line around the whole element. Once you click on it, you might have noticed that a toolbar opened up at the top of the double page spread. Let's talk about this toolbar real quick. Starting on the left here, you will see the current font being used for your portrait names. You can click on the down arrow and select a different font. Next, in this box you will see a number 8. This is the current font size being used for portrait names. This too can be changed. Please note that changing the font size could result in a red X appearing. The red X means that there is more typed than the text box can display. Next, the black square here is the current color of the text. You can click on this and change the text coloring. Just please make sure it is visible against the current background. Next to that is a black line and a box with the number 0 in it. This is the stroke style. This will allow you to put a border around each portrait image, and then you can change the coloring and size of the border. Next, the letter B is for making the portrait names bold, the letter I for making the portrait names italic, and the letter U to underline the portrait names. Clicking on the letter A, you will find the options for making the words all uppercase letters or all lowercase letters. Here is the one we want flow options. It will have 9 little dots with a down arrow. Click on it, and we will talk about the flow element. One of the first things we are going to ask you to do is toggle off automatic. This feature, while on, will stretch your portrait boxes to fit the overall size of the element. That is the dotted yellow line on the outside of the flow element. Now let's talk about rows and columns. Here you can adjust the number of rows and columns you need. You can adjust it to the number of students we need to flow. Please note, it is okay to have an extra boxes. These will go into a hidden state if not used. Now that we have that set up, we can see the boxes are still a little too small for our portraits. So moving down, you can see portrait dimensions. This will allow us to change the size of the portrait boxes. Here we can change the width and height of the portrait boxes. Now, please note, you can only change it to the point that the program does not want this element outside the blue box. You will get a message saying the flow element has reached its limits. You can click inside the boxes here and change the number after the letter P to make smaller changes to the width and height of the boxes. Next, portrait spacing allows you to add space between the portrait images. Next is portrait shape. Here you can change the shape of the portrait boxes. Please note that rectangle is the only one that can have rounded corners. If you are using the names on the left or the names on the right, please click on Name Options at the bottom. From there, the second options down is Align Names to Portrait Image. Click on No. This will keep the name lined up in one column and will prevent the names from moving closer to the portrait. Now that we have everything set up, we can move the element where we want on the page. Now let me show you what to do with the flow element on the right. Now the flow element will have to be adjusted a little differently than the one on the left. For one, you will see there are not as many rows. The portrait boxes are larger and the student names are in a different location. For this flow element, you will have to start with reducing the width and height of the boxes, then add rows and columns as needed. You might need to adjust portrait spacing a little as well. Once you are done, you can move the element anywhere you need it. Please play around with the options to get the results you want. Try different flow elements and see what works for you. Once you have everything set up, click on the Save icon or click on File and then click on Save. You will have to do this so the program knows that changes were made to the double page spread. Any and all changes to the flow element must be made before you flow. This is because once you flow, the element is locked until you reset the flow. Now that everything is set up, we are ready to flow your portraits. Let's get everything set up under the Flow tab. First is Category. Here we are going to select the teacher we want to flow on the page. Let's pick this class and flow it. Next is the name format. Here we can pick how the name is displayed on the page. We will leave it as is. Under it, you will see the total number of images in the folder, how many have flown, and total number remaining. Next, you will see Start and Stop. This is asking what page you want to start your flow and what page you want to stop your flow. In this case, we want to start on page 92 and stop on page 92. You can flow to as many pages as you need. Some schools do the whole grade level and may start on page 18 and stop on page 23. Once that is set, you might see a red bar and the current total number of available positions on the page. This is telling us we do not have enough portrait boxes on the page to accommodate this class. So we would have to add another row or column to fit this class in. Once we make our adjustments to the flow element and clicked on Save, the red box, if there, has gone away and it now reads the current available positions. From there, go to the bottom of Flow and click on the white button with the word Flow in it. Your portraits and names will flow on the page. The program will save this automatically. For any reason you need to reset the flow and make any changes, you can click on the white button with the word Reset in it. This will take the portrait images out and leave the flow element on the page. Topic 5. Let's talk about a few tips and tricks you can use when flowing. If you need to make any changes to the flow element, such as swapping portraits or changing the fonts on the names, you must first reset the flow. You cannot change anything involving the flow element while the portrait are flowed on the page. If you have to move a portrait to another class and it is already flowed, please reset the flow and then move the portrait. If you move the image first, it will break the link to the flow element. This will mean you will have expand the flow and delete what is there and redo the flow element. If you need to add another student to a flow, first reset the flow. To return a hidden portrait box, simply double-click on the blue flow element. This will isolate the flow element, and you can see the hidden portrait boxes. On all of the portrait boxes, you will see an eye in the upper right-hand corner. Click on the one in the upper right-hand corner, and this will bring the box back to active. Click to the side of the box, and then click on the Save icon. Now you can reflow the class with the new portrait image added. We know some schools will flow their teacher along with their class, and they will want the teacher to flow first. Here on the page, you can see Mr. Adkins is not the first one flowed on the page, so let's fix this. Let's start by locating his image under the Flow tab. Here it is, and now let's click on the Image Details icon located to the right of his name. From there, click on the tab Details and then locate the word Preferences. Click on the word Preferences and then click on the box with the word Portrait type in it. Here, locate and click on the word Teacher. This is our hierarchy list. Teacher will always flow first in ABC order, followed by Assistant in ABC order, then Student and Other. Please remember each one will flow in ABC order. So you might have to get a little creative if you want people to flow in a certain order. Once that is done, click on the blue Done button. Now, you will see nothing has changed. We will have to click on the Reset button so the changes can take place. Once we click on Reset, you will notice the portrait of Mr. Adkins is now at the top of the list. We can now click on the Flow button. There we go. The teacher's portrait image is now flown first. Looking at this portrait flow on the page leads me to my next tip. You will see there is blank space under the portrait flow on the page. But if you try to move it down, it will not let you and will keep popping back to its previous spot. This is because there is a hidden row under the last portrait image. This can be removed so you can move the portrait images on the page. To do this, simply click on Reset and then click on the flow element on the page. Next, click on the flow option in the toolbar above the double page spread. Here you will see we have a total of 5 rows, but we are only using 4 rows. So, just click the down arrow so it reads 4 rows. And then click on the Save icon. If the flow element is still selected, you can see the extra row is gone, and you can reflow the class and move the portrait images down. I would like to take this time to thank you for joining us. The demonstration of the functions related to the creation of portrait pages should eliminate some of the trial and error that can occur when working on a yearbook. Printing portrait sheets and editing class data ahead of time should result in better accuracy on some of the most important pages of a book. Please join me for the next video where we look at the creation of activity and candid pages. Have a great day.